No need social.
Is this light function?
Yes.
Not that it matters. But
It absolutely did not matter.
Okay, function versus action. It was definitely not useful.
Definitely not
It
leadership.
was there just to be there.
Do we need to come closer to the camera now that we're?
That's what Jack said. How's this good?
Go ahead, some more.
Can we come closer?
And then three come in the seats. Okay. That can happen.
Is that a good view?
My shoulder's still in her shoulder.
Your shoulders, everyone's bodies, and yes, I see full body. I was going like make sure you have slide back and then this.
Oh no, I'm slide forward. I ain't gonna increase the volume.
Oh, okay.
Ain't no point in leaving, but I have to be focused. It's
Oh my
take away.
God. That's funny. See, my forehead is not so big, it's just wide, which is why I always put my hair in my face. Because there's
I mean, I'm not agreeing. That's not agreeing. I understand. I see what you're saying. I respect it now. I'm like, girl, that explains a lot. It's not. It's true.
my hair is more wide.
Yeah, true that.
Corporate.
Ma'am,
Quarter.
corporate?
Pray.
Oh, sorry.
Please,
Part
I'm
of
sorry.
it, you know, my
That was
hearing
such an abrupt statement.
it
I
also dilutes.
Please. Sorry.
That's my head. We always come to you right now, just thanking and praising for today. Lord, we ask right now that you just touch our minds and our hearts. Let us be focused on the thing that we need to do, God. Lord, we ask right now that you just bless the podcast, God, that it will go out and it will touch and heal and help someone. So we got that, God, we ask right now that you just be in complete control. Lord, speak through Bree and Christina. And love, God, we ask that you just touch them, that they might be able to do exactly what's needed in today. We thank you for all that you are and all that you do. We plead the blood of Jesus over each and every one of us. We thank you for peace in our minds and in our hearts, God. We thank you for direction and focus. We thank you, Lord, that everything that we encounter is to make us better. And so, God, even in this encounter, God, make us better through what we do in today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir.
I'm here for the necklace better. I like that.
Can you see? You can't see my kneecap, can you?
No, mother.
Okay, thank you. Because I was like, I do not have a whole cloth.
Like
Like I do not. I do not have.
If anybody is in the screen trying to look down and up under your dress,
The hip around here.
they here for the wrong thing.
I mean, that's
Like even your holy cloth ain't gonna stop whatever they
They
got
can see
going.
through.
They get turned on my shins. That's just a whole other mention.
And the feet.
Did you see the ankles on that?
They said-
I know, right?
The word said beautiful lot of feet there.
Right.
That's what they said.
You got it.
And run with the word.
You got a fetish.
Strong.
Praise thou, Lord.
Tell me the title of this again, ma'am, ladies.
Function versus fashion.
Baby, we can talk. Ooh.
No, you will not. No, you will absolutely will not. No, ma'am.
It just came to me.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. What we not gonna do is what you doing.
My earrings broke today.
Exactly. So we got something. Let me write it down.
Okay.
Lamb, her earring broke today. It is now there's nothing wrong. They had a dangle, like she had a big love thing on it, wood. They were
I'm
very
gonna
cute.
figure out how to fix them.
And she was so trying so hard to fix it. But did you end up having to break the other one?
I tried to break it so that I took the larger part of it off. I took the larger part of it off, and then I just tried to keep the heart that was also attached to it, so that this and the heart was still didn't go. And then the heart came off, and then we lost the chain or the link to it. And I went to the bathroom. I'm just like, you know what? Trying to put it all back together. No, so we just literally have the clips. So it was beautiful fashion. It's unnecessary.
And all the effort that you went to try to salvage.
I let my food cool down because I was so focused. And I was like,
I'm
get your
trying to
mouth out
salvage
to
it.
I'm trying to can, but I can't.
The Lord is in that. I'm just saying.
I'll look into it.
He's
Y'all
doing
can preach it. It's okay. Because I know my attention, my vein isn't. That'd be all that. You see how late that was? I'm like, it's pinching my ear even right now. Take them off first. 28. Y'all want to go on and just greet the people, and so that when 3:30 hits, if y'all are already in.
Absolutely. Just kind of count us down a little bit short, so we'll know it's 3:30. Because I can't.
Oh, I got you. So I'll press go live.
That's fine. Because the light is lighting, and I can't obviously see anything but Jesus at this point.
Let's see.
Great news. Hi, Facebook. If you guys are ready, come on in early. We are starting the live at 3:30 and we're waiting on you. So come on in. Remember, we're doing a giveaway today. So if you know someone that has not been tuned into the podcast, tell them to jump on today. There is no longevity for the win. So if you are interested and you love the podcast, invite your friends, tell them to come on, because today we're doing a giveaway. And of course, as usual, we're going to help you heal in the things you think you know. So you got a minute, 60 seconds. Go grab them. Come on. Tag them in. We'll see you soon. Oh, yes, she did that. Sorry. Y'all get to see some behind the scenes stuff that we are very, very comedic people. I was like, it's still live. We love the Lord, but it's very funny. Yes, darling. I'll see y'all yet. Grammy people, what are they at? What are they at? Come on. And by the way, have you gotten your ticket yet?
Have you gotten your ticket?
I didn't see your name on reachthewell.com. I didn't see your name.
Your name needs to be in the book.
I need you to hurry up. Hurry up and get your tickets. Because once the seats are gone, they're gone, honey. And ain't nothing I can do about it.
That's
so
good.
Hurry up. Get your tickets. Get your tickets. Grab your friends. Grab your girls. Grab your guys. Grab them and let's go.
Yes. Grow in 24.
That's it. Grow 24. Let's do it.
Two.
You hold up to 4. I'm hold up to 2, 4. Yes, let's do that.
Oh, wait, I'm like,
No, wait. 1, 2,
oh,
3.
not.
I look like I'm throwing Jesus gang signs.
Listen on me.
Throwing signs for Christ. Is it 3:30, J-Lo?
It's 3:30.
Let us ride. So welcome to the Healing and Heals podcast. It is now officially 3:30, and we're super excited that you have joined us. I have on camera with me today the awesome Harvard graduate, Brianna Oliver. Woo-woo. Yes. And of course, I'm your host, Christina Marie. We are super excited to have you in the room with us today because we're going to talk about function versus fashion. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the podcast, we're going to help you heal in the things you think you know. One thing we always think we know, of course, is the high heel shoes. So, this podcast is dedicated to helping you heal in the very thing that you think you know. Background story: high heel shoes were never ever designed originally for women. They were designed for men. Not only were they designed for men, but they were actually designed as a shoe to be worn during battle by real warriors. So the functionality of the shoe was to be able to help the warriors to stabilize themselves inside of the stirrup when they rode the horse. And if they got thrown off, the heel was detachable and they could use it as a weapon. So your high heel, ladies, is actually a functional shoe for warfare. So, how in the world did we get from a warfare shoe into the high heels that we see today?
Wow.
Where the heel, by the way, is higher than high, thinner than thin, cuter than cute, because I love them, okay? A stiletto queen I am.
Come on.
But how did we go from something that was supposed to be so functional and have such a strong purpose to something that honestly hurts our feet?
It's just for looks.
And it's just for looks. It makes us walk odd. And we usually can't do very much functioning in them. How do we do that? And they cost. So basically, to get into it, what happened was the King Louis at the time, decided that he wanted to look like a warrior, but he really didn't want to do any work.
Oh my.
So what he did to separate his shoes from everyone else's is he had the shoemaker decorate them.
Not bedazzled.
Bedazzle of the 17th centuries, okay? So he had them decorate his shoes, and he made sure that his shoe was pretty, okay? King Louis also was very short, so having that extra height made him feel like somebody.
Come on.
But the truth of the matter is the shoe wasn't very functional for his walk.
Mm-hmm.
He wobbled a lot and fell often, many twisted ankles, okay? His wife got so jealous because now he was as tall as she was that she had the shoemaker make her some too. But not to be outdone, the queen decided, not only do I want mine decorated, but I want mine to have a red bottom, and I want them to be higher than the king's. How often in our real lives do we take something that God meant for us to function with, like our ability to speak, or our ability to sing, or our ability to lead, or our ability to organize or administrate? How often do we take what we were given by God to be a functional thing and it be twisted into, now we sing for anybody who got a good enough stipend, or we preach and deliver the word to anybody who can pay the honorarium, or we will only administrate for the most elite because we don't really want to use the gift to help, a struggling up and coming company. We want to use it to be notarized, or, we don't want to sing unless there's at least 200 people in the building. Like, how often have we taken what God gave us for free? For free. Let's be clear. It was a gift. You got it for free. How often have we tried to manipulate our gift based on jealousy of somebody else's?
Or what looks good.
Yeah, or what looks good to someone else, or even yourself. How often have we done that? And what is the capabilities of us turning it back around?
Ooh, that's good. When we were talking about, like, when you first talked about this idea, it made me think about false humility, and how sometimes we're like, oh no, you can always, I'll do anything for anybody. Yes. I'm always the one that's there. I'm always the friend that's doing for people. I'm always going to be, helpful. But then the flip side of that is, it's no longer a function like I'm going to make sure that you're able to help yourself, but it's me putting myself as Jesus or God in your life.
Right.
And then on the other side of that, because it looks good. Because it's not because you need something or because I am doing what I'm called to do. It's because it looks good. Right. And it gives me a sense of hi, and I'm this person. Right. And so then when they start putting you on Calvary, you're like, wait a minute.
Whoa.
And that is a difficult place to come out of at transparent moment. I know that I'm not like, I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat anything about myself, but I was really big and heavy on finding my value in what I could do for other people. Mm-hmm. And so that coming from that background, I know it's difficult. Like when you say you got me with
how to turn it around.
How it's because it becomes a part of you, kind of like, with you in the hills. Mm-hmm. It's like, I've been this tall for a while now. Like I remember the first time I wore tennis shoes to work. My kids were like, Miss Oliver, you short? Because I used to wear them every day.
Right.
I used to wear heels every like it don't matter. We in the gym playing basketball. Right. It don't matter. I'm in at least 3.5 inches. Right. Okay. And running, but. Like the first time I wore them, I'm like, oh dang, these kids taller than me. Right. They could not outnumber me because I'm about that life. But it just reminded me, I was like, that's something different. It took a while for me to be like, okay, I'm still who I am, lower to the ground. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's definitely something where it's like, okay, you have to really think about who you really are when you're starting to try to shift out of things that were once something that made you feel like you looked like something. Yeah.
I definitely 1,000% agree with that. I even talk about it in the book. It's coming, okay? Don't be tripping. It's coming. But I talk about the first time I went to work and I left my heels and I walked in the room and literally, like you said, it was just like everybody was like, dang, you short.
Like, where's the rest?
But this is the crazy thing for me, Bree. I know I'm short.
Come on.
I'm short every day. I've
Mhm.
been short every day of my life.
Yep.
It's been a thing all of my 40 years. I've been short. Okay. All my life I have been short. Yes. Okay. But when someone else pointed out something about me that I already knew, I felt so insecure.
And it made it a big deal.
Yes. And I mean, like the whole room stopped. Like you're talking about 15, 20 grown men that just stopped and stared at me. And all of them was like, you're short. Like, and for some reason, even though I knew that was a reality for me, for some reason, when they said it, I felt so exposed. I felt so naked. I felt so uncovered. I felt so powerless. I felt like there was a little girl that just took over this completely grown woman. Now here I am, completely functional, high selling salesperson in the car industry. I'm making more money than most people make in their entire lives, right? And I am doing great. I'm a good mother. I'm going to church. I'm serving God. I got a great career. But yet in this moment, a shoe made me feel like I was this big.
Why?
Because I felt like not only did they see that I was short, but if they could see that I'm short, what else bad about me could they see? Because I took my height as a negative for me because of things that happened to me when I was younger by people who were bigger than me. I felt like as long as I was small, I really was helpless. I was unprotected. I was uncovered. And that was so frightening to me.
How did that change your functionality?
I was afraid all day. I immediately left the meeting and I went next door to the Burlington and I immediately bought a pair of heels.
My God, that's wasting money.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Because you already had shoes at home.
I have them. No, but I refused to. And then the rest of the day, I was so rude. To all my Tamron family, I love y'all. Y'all are so awesome because y'all done seen me in some crazy spots. But I was so rude. I had to come back the following day and apologize because I was like, and just because I'm short, don't let that fool you. Don't let this hype fool. I was on 10.
And
overcompensated. I made it my business to make sure I was gonna sell a car and make all the money. I'm gonna prove to you that I'm this and I'm that. Now, mind you, I was this and that all the time. And I was short the whole time. It's just they didn't recognize it. But I think oftentimes that's what we do. We take something that is a functioning thing and we twist it into a fashion and we hold on to the fashion portion of it, not realizing the function never left.
Go ahead, Grace.
So, just came to me. You remember in the Bible, like we was there. When David, the little shepherd boy. Now don't let me lie to y'all. I promise I read my Bible. David was getting ready to fight Goliath. And the function of armor is to protect you when you're going into battle, right? But David already had everything that he needed because God already told him what to pick up.
Right.
But Saul,
that's the one,
was like, oh, well, here's my armor.
Right.
You know, because to Saul, it would have looked good for him to have on his armor when he went out there and did what he did. But David was like, nah, like he put it on at first, you know, to appease people, you know, but he was like, nah, this ain't gonna fit. I ain't gonna be able to, you know, try stuff. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And so a lot of times we're adorning other people's gifts or other people's functionality, things that worked for them. And it's not even required for what we're supposed to be doing. A lot of times it's like, oh, this worked for them. So, and they're trying, and it's like, oh, well, we got to be nice because somebody offered it to us. Somebody in the position, they said, you can do this. And it's like, God didn't call me that. God didn't raise me for that. And more importantly, in your height, in your being exposed, when you in your quote unquote weakness, God can use that because that's when he actually gets the glory. It's like, nah, this little boy, his older brother's running, his little boy without the king's armor, without all of that stuff, all of that jazz, all that pizzazz, was able to do what other people were scared to do.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Absolutely.
And save that money.
I know, right? I would have, but I definitely would have bought that shoe. But I want to point out something Bree told me on the phone a few days back. She made this statement and she said, no, it's not a bad one. It was like, I'm not going to explain.
Saying stuff.
She does. But this particular statement was like really, really eye-opening for me. She said that just because you're nice doesn't mean you get access to me.
Mhm.
And the reason that kind of popped in my mind with this conversation is because a lot of times we are so geared toward the fashion side of things, meaning it looks bad if somebody's nice to you and you just don't do for them or have access to that. That's the look of it. But the true functionality of it, if you're truly being nice because you're a genuinely nice person, like that's what you're functioning as, then being accessible to me or having access to me shouldn't change whether you're nice or not. And I think that sometimes what happens is we're so geared on what it looks like to others, how we respond to something, just like what you were talking about with David. It looked like the right thing to do. The king Saul said, hey, if you're going to go out to battle, and it wasn't that he was trying to hinder David, right? He was trying to help. But the truth of the matter is, it's hard to stand up for protecting your actual function when it comes to people who are presenting you with something that represents fashion. So sometimes the original question I asked on how do you turn it around, sometimes the turn around part is just speaking up to the fact that I'm confident in who I am and what God has given me and what I do, like I do it. And I really don't need to adjust it just so it looks good for you. But oftentimes we feel the pressure of how will it look to someone else if I respond in a particular way. It's not all the time that we don't know. It's just that we feel intimidated, or we're trying to protect people's feelings, or we don't want to come off as being ungrateful, or we don't want to come off as being rude, or like people might think we're too much of ourselves, and things like that. It's the appearance that we're concerned about. Again, the fashion of the matter rather than protecting the functionality of what we do. Because if what I do is hindered by the fashion need to go.
Gotta go.
Because like my shoes, I love beautiful heels. But if the functionality of what I need to do is get in the floor and pray with you, and my heels are going to hinder that, then these jokers got to go. They got to go because we get so bound by what things look like, rather than how well they actually function.
So let's share with how being comfortable in your function can work. Because you just shared how it can hinder. So how can being comfortable in your function work for the body at large and for your person?
Honestly, the easiest way to answer that is if you are functioning in your God-given space, then you really not doing any work anyway. God is functioning. And if you're confident in the God that is functioning through you, then you should have no issues. Because I cannot be confident in Christina. Christina may drop the ball, but when I get ready to do what I know God called me to do, I'm no longer relying on me anyway. So I'm not necessarily confident in me personally. I'm confident in the God in me, and knowing that no matter who I am, God gonna do what he got to do, and it's going to work. So the confidence comes not in having this confidence that he that began a good work, he is faithful to perform it. And I think that if we focus on who we're actually functioning through, then having that confidence, it won't matter whether you got to wear the armor or you need the stones.
Bree, go ahead and answer that.
Oh my! I was going to say that the way that I think about it, I forgot who the person was, but they say I hold onto everything loosely so that God doesn't have to rip anything from my hands.
I like that.
And so I'm gonna have to figure out who it was. But earlier you were talking about your heel. The heel was detachable. So a lot of times you have to make sure that nothing. I'm sorry, I'm like looking at everybody. You have to make sure that you don't have anything that you hold so tightly that God has given you that He can't use it as a weapon in the moment when it's necessary. Because if you have to at some point become detached from it, you can't have that so much like your heels, right? It can't be so much a part of your identity that you can't take it off and use it as a weapon.
That's good.
So
That's good.
hold it loosely.
I love it.
I'm looking at Jack, but I'm looking at Jack.
I love it.
Let's add, I want to even train the question or go back to Christina when she was talking about how she went out and bought a new pair of shoes for, because of what they were doing or talking about and everything at the job. But I wanted to ask, what did that reveal about your heart? Because the Bible says where your heart where your heart is, that will also reveal your treasure. I mean, make that backward. But what did that reveal to you in that moment? Because it did not only change your internal, your external, and you actually took action about what it was that they were saying, but it also changed your internal. So what do you think that said, or could it possibly say even now, about where your heart was, your way of thinking about yourself?
I think I'm gonna use 2 examples. One is when we came into this room, y'all cannot see it on this camera, but there is a lamp that's over there in the corner. Beautiful lamp, right? It's plugged up. And I was like, does this lamp work? And they were like, yeah, the lamp work. I said, well, I'm gonna cut it on. We want some extra light. I'm gonna cut it on. I cut the lamp on, and literally
nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
I feel the same way about that shoe. Okay, I put the shoe on, and I still felt exposed because they had already seen it. So going to buy the shoe changed nothing. I spent money, and I did get a cute pair of shoes, but the shoe changed nothing because the whole day I already felt. They had already seen me. So it changed nothing. And what it exposed to me about myself is that plenty of times I can calculate in my life where I thought doing what looked good was going to benefit, and it changed nothing. I thought that showing up and being extra polite to the people who were being mean to me was going to change their heart. It changed nothing. I thought that if I went the extra mile and was a super great friend to you, it would make you a better friend to me, and it changed nothing. I thought that if I did more for God, and I'm going to step on religious folks' toes, if I did more for God, if I read more of the Bible, if I preached more, if I prayed more, if I spoke in tongues for 45 minutes straight, whatever, if I did more for God works. If I did more, then God would answer me quicker.
So let's talk about how the aesthetics of churching,
yes,
or being in church, hinders the body, because the intent is for us to grow kingdom, right? And how much we become so self-indulged in ministry. Let's talk about how it hinders the church.
I'm shooting a blank. What's the scripture that says He will give you the desires of your heart? What's the first? What comes before that? Like,
oh, we all slow now. Why would you say it?
Because it's right there.
It's right there. Hold on.
It's like something, and He will
delight yourself.
Delight yourself in the Lord. There we go.
Right. So the function is to delight yourself in the Lord, right? The function of it is to delight yourself in the Lord. But on the other side of that, we see He will give you the desire. Because I talked to you about this before. It says He will give you the desires of your heart, and we take it to mean that He's going to give us the things that we desire. But in actuality, He gives us desires that are after His heart, that are within His, like what it takes. So like when we're doing stuff for people, it's because we're delighting ourselves in the Lord. We're being His hands and His feet. We're doing what would Jesus do, right? Yeah. But in the way that He will give us different desires. He'll give us desires to see people do well and be well, as opposed to seeing people do stuff for us. Right. So like a lot of times, when we see like churched up makes it seem like everything is about, oh, we're gonna be high and exalted. When in actuality, the function of what we're doing is to exalt God, and it's to glorify Him, and to draw people towards. So maybe we still nice to the person who still trash to us, okay? But that's what somebody's gonna see what you're doing for somebody who is being raggedy, right? I don't know who you are, but you're right. Right. But God still loves you.
That's facts. And we working on it, Dr. We love you. I also wanted to use the second example of Jackie's earring. Okay, so Jackie has these beautiful earrings, right? And they're like this wood cutout, have this beautiful heart on them. They're gorgeous clip-on earrings, right? She had them on. We get in the car. She's cute. And I'm like, okay, these are cute. You're cute. Okay, so we get to church. And I glance over and I see Jackie holding a piece of the earring in her hand, and she's just working on it. Now, we serve breakfast at our church, and it's delicious breakfast. Shout out to Love Fellowship Christian Center Kitchen Ministry. Y'all on it, okay? These grits was cheesing today. The bacon was baking in today. Like it was popping and locking, and it was great, okay? But literally, she's fixed her plate, okay? Follow me. She fixed her plate of delicious food. She's sitting down at the table, and the earring is sitting in her hand. Now, Jackie got all this good stuff in front of her, but she was so focused on trying to repair this piece of fashionable jewelry that she sat there and let her food get cold. She even came into Sunday school late. Didn't think I saw that. She came into Sunday school late because she was in the bathroom trying to fix this earring. And then she came up with an accommodation.
Come on.
If I can't fix it all, I'm going to try to fix a piece and save this part. So even though this part broken, and I know I need to let it go, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to fix a piece of
Come on, trim it up.
till the point where the other one's perfectly fine. But now I got to break it because they won't look the same.
They won't both be broken.
Now I got to break something else in my life because
Everything
now this part broke and I can't fix this right. So I'm just going to break something else so it don't look out of whack. Like, how many times do we do the same thing in our life when we're trying to control something that is just fashion? It was no function to her entire life. She literally went the rest of the day with nothing but the stud part of it, and nobody said a word because nobody even knew that you were broken to begin with. Nobody even knew that you broke something else to begin with, and all they see is the residue of what's left, and what was left was enough to begin with.
It was functional.
But you missed out on a full plate of food. Now is she gonna starve and die? No, because you have had more blessings. Had you just focused on the function, you could have got your belly full, and then when we got ready to leave church, you wouldn't have been quite as hungry because you actually already had something that was provided for you for free.
I still ate all my food. Right?
She did eat all her food, but the point is, it was cold at this point. Like, how many blessings do we miss? Not because they're not there, but because we're focusing on what looked good.
And
how much effort did you put into that? How much
time
time did that take?
Later on, when she wasn't so focused on it, but now she got to go back and fix 2 earrings
because you have to break the other one, and we do that. We self-sabotage. Oh well, this isn't quite right in my life, so because this isn't quite right, I'm just gonna self-sabotage this so it don't look out of whack. Like, you might be great with making money, you may not be as good with saving money. So because you're not as good with saving money, when you make it and you spend it all, well, now you're broke. Well, to compensate that, when you do have the money and you're starting to do better, you'll still operate like you ain't got no money because you don't want people to say, oh, well, I can tell when she gets something, or oh, she up now or she down now. So to level that out, you will self-sabotage in this area, or you will feel like, okay, I'm not as good with with money, but I'm great when it comes to singing. Well, I don't want to be out here singing and people think XYZ because I'm broke. I don't want to drive the nice car because, people might say, oh, well, she couldn't pay her bill last month. So, well, that might be true, but you already done bought the car.
Come on.
Like, we already here. Why not function?
When are they able to work together? So, for example, we have the ministry of being able to, I don't want to necessarily call it, but it is a ministry of audio and visual now, especially because of the pandemic. Everyone is now more accessible, right? So in some instances that work, all the audio visual, the upgrades in technology that the church has done and all of that. But is the smoke machine necessary?
Listen,
like when can they coexist?
I pull out my Keith Lee hand.
Yes, please. Let's do this.
No, I feel like, again, it's going back to, you don't need to hold anything so tight that it is prohibited, that God has to snatch it from, that God has to rip it from your hands. Like if we're doing a Sundays on the way type of production and people need to feel like they was there at Calvary, I respect it, but if it's something that is going to exalt people over God, that's the issue. Otherwise, because I feel like especially during the pandemic, a lot of people, like, they were talking about going live at churches before the pandemic happened, but then it was forced, and so it's like now we have to find a way to connect to people. What we do is a way to connect to people. Everybody can't listen and then get it. Like if I'm teaching in my classroom, and all I do is write on the board, I never make eye contact. We never touch anything. They never take any notes. We're not going to connect. They're going to hate me. They're going to hate math for the rest of their lives. I teach math. But if I am engaging with them, they can see me, they can see me work through something, I talk to them, then it's different. It's personal, it's relationships. And at the end of the day, what we're doing is all about building relationships to God through God.
Right.
So what I hear he's saying, Brian, please correct me if I'm wrong, is the benefit is when you're thinking about function, think kingdom. And when you're thinking fashion, it's more so for the validation of people.
Right.
Can we say it in that way?
Yes, I 1,000% agree with that. And I also want to point out the fact that there is no problem with fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't take this podcast as a dash or a slam against fashion, because the next time you see your girl, she gonna be in a stiletto, period. Okay, point blank, period. And she's going to be fly to the definition she defined it. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not gonna stop wearing heels. We gonna heal in these heels because I'm keeping mine on.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that, like she said, I'm not holding them so dearly that I don't own a pair of flats.
Right.
I'm not holding them to the point where I can't function anymore, or I feel less than if I don't have them on. I'm in flats right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be less of me because of a fashion piece that's different or not there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still who God created me to be. And I plan on growing in who God created me to be. I don't plan on staying the same. Just like you wouldn't expect a newborn baby to stay the same size, you shouldn't expect to stay the same size in your life or in God either. He wishes that you would grow and mature. You go from glory to glory, from faith to faith. You're supposed to grow. We are not in a position to where we are elementary and we got to say, oh, she said you can't wear high heels. People who jump in comments and do all that, I'm praying your strength in the Lord, because there's maturity that needs to happen there. We're not saying there's anything wrong with fashion. What we are saying is when your fashion outweighs your functionality, that is where we have a problem. When your fashion starts hindering your function, then that's where you have to make the adjustment and choose the function over the fashion. With that being said, I know where I would be April the 27th. Where would you be?
I would be at the Healing and Heals Conference.
The Healing and Heals Conference. And if you have not gotten your tickets yet, please go to reachthewell.com and join us April the 27th. Ladies, it is for us. Guys, it is for you. We want to see you guys in the place. I've talked to several guys and they were like, man, I don't wear no heels. I know that. We don't want you to, okay? We don't want you to. We want you to be able to come in and sit with like-minded, great men of God who are going to speak your language, because as much as you might agree with what we're saying, it sounds different coming from another guy. So you guys are going to have your own healing, your own heal session. And us ladies are going to enjoy our women's healing and heal session. And then we're going to all come together for a great session and word and worship. Okay. So I want you guys all to rush to your screens, click reachthewell.com, get your tickets. There are 3 options for ticket prices. There's a $25 general admission. There's a $40, and that's going to be one of the VIP admissions. And then there's a $50, and that one is going to be the gold admission for VIP as well. You get a swag, you get pictures, you'll get special treatment. It's going to be awesome. Either way, whether you're doing 25, 40, or 50, the best thing for you to do is get your ticket and get in the place. You do not want to miss it. Powerful speakers, powerful word, powerful worship, an awesome band, great discussions, great food. You gotta get there. April the 27th, we're at 1150 Hillcrest Road in Adamsville, Alabama. We can't wait to see you there. Hope to see you next time on the podcast.
We got a giveaway.
Oh, the giveaway. I'm so glad you got me. Lord, have mercy. So, our giveaway, Jackie, do we have anyone that has jumped in the comments first? Besides Jackie, Jackie cannot win. So what we're going to do is, anybody who is watching this replay, okay? Anybody who watches this replay, if you can tell me what my heel is, I mentioned it throughout the podcast. I love a particular type of heel. If you can name what type of heel I love, then you will be the person to win our giveaway. And we will announce that giveaway on our very next podcast episode, which will be in 2 more weeks. It'll be the week before the conference. So give us a shout out. Put it in the comments. Tell me what type of heel do I say I love. I mentioned it all during the podcast. Tell me what kind of heel do I love. And if you can do that, we'll put your name in the jar and we'll draw for our giveaway. And I won't tell you what it is until you put the answer in the chat.
Boom.
So we will see you guys on our very next episode. And until then, I'm Christina Marie.
I'm Brianna Oliver.
And we hope you heal in the things that you think you know. Bye.
My baby.